Don't you love IT when it doesn't work? Anyway, good afternoon. We've had another delightful day here with absolutely no wind again and no rain again. So it's really quite pleasant in this approach to winter here at Gulf Harbour. It's about 50% cloud cover now, a bit more than we've had for most of the day. Absolutely no wind, although the boats are pointing to the south. I think that's just tidal. 1027 on the bar. An anticyclone that is just sort of sitting over us for a few days. How nice. 17 degrees. Bit of news. Coffee. Stand by. We'll talk about, or David will talk about getting from Minerva to Fiji shortly. I got the message that you can hear but not speak. This seems to be a current theme this year, doesn't it? Anyway, sea wind have arrived in Fiji this morning, so no problem with getting the email through, so they must have no problem in Tonga with Starlink. I'll be talking to Shandon. No, I won't be talking to Shandon. I have got Shandon's results for the passage so far. David on Shandon is at 3017 south, 17639 east. All's well on board. He's got one reef in the main, staysail, and the Yankee up on a course of 353 magnetic, 7.4. He's actually got a bit of wind out there, east 16, high enough up to get above this flat area, 65% cloud cover, and 1023 on the bar. Shandon is heading to Fiji. The people from New Zealand will be interested to know we have had our budget. It's quite an interesting budget this year. Very briefly, because other people won't be interested, the government contributions to KiwiSaver have been halved, 25 cents it is now, to a maximum of 261, so that will be saving them some money. They have tightened benefits for young unemployed people who haven't found a job, maybe still at home or whatever. They have got a means test really for couples receiving superannuation and getting a discount on their rates. It's now a maximum of 45,000 that a couple can earn. It's a little bit complicated to talk about. Lots of incentives for business owners to try and boost the job market. So yeah, a few interesting things for younger folk to benefit from, and a lot of cost savings involved. All right, let's get on to the more interesting stuff. We've got Rusla, Gulf Harbour Radio.
Hi, Gulf Harbour. Hi, Patricia and David. This is Rusla. How do you copy?
Yeah, good copy. Thanks, Craig. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we've had a nice sailing. It's been a bit rolling out here. We got well, we're at 17 degrees, 34, 39 minutes, 179 degrees, 27 east, course of 343 true, the speed of flat knots right now, although we've been going slower to try to slow down, so we get to Zoe in the marina in the morning at 8 o'clock, so I don't want to pay further after hours charges. Anyway, the wind is on the east-southeast, 11 to 14, swell is 2 meters east-southeast, barometer 1005, and 20% cloud cover.
Wow, nice conditions. That's a really nice way to have your last night at sea. 1739 south, 17927 east. Rusla is on the way to Naui and Savu 343 true at 5 knots. East southeast 11 to 14. 2 meters, but yeah, a bit sloppy. 1005 on the bar and 20% cloud cover. All right, well, enjoy the last night of passage, and yeah, just get ready to enjoy Fiji. Over.
Yeah, we're looking forward to some showers and a restaurant to take the crew out to eat for being so good on the passage, and get some other things done. Of course, after a passage like this, I've got a list of several things on it that need to be attended to now. So, well, we got all that done, and then we'll have some fun cruising around. Over.
Yep, that sounds good. Yep, to the usual story, isn't it? But yes, it is nice to get ashore and know you don't have to do the dishes and don't have to put everything away, and and you can have a good night's sleep. All right, well done, you guys, and let us know when you're next outside. Clear with Rusula, and let's go to a different part of the ocean. Seeker heading to Bundaberg. Go ahead, Peter.
Patricia, how do you talk to me tonight?
Yep, pretty good. I know it's you. Yep, funnily enough, and you're not the only one that had a bit of a problem with the transmit. We've got Colfie in Minerva who can hear and not transmit, but they haven't got on top of it yet, like you have. Go ahead.
Okay, this evening we are 2319 South, 162 Transmit East. We are on a course of 250 true. At the end tomorrow, doing about 6.5 knots. I've got about 11 knots of wind from the east, and a long period easterly swell of about 2.5 meters, at 20% cloud cover, and we had a very sporty night. Over.
Oh, a sporty night. Just confirm the long easterly swell, long period easterly swell. Did you say 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5 now. It was definitely up there. We had a pretty good sized squall come through, which we just sort of clipped the edge of. But for several hours after that, we had 30 to 40 knots, which whipped up a very sloppy sea.
Gee, it does come up fast, doesn't it? So you've had a bit of squally weather. So Seeker is now at 2319 south, 16251 east on their way to Bundaberg, 250 true, and they're now motoring 6.5 knots, 11 knots from the east. The swell is now down a bit, 2.5, but kind of messy, 20% cloud cover. All right, well, apart from that, is all well on board, over?
Yes, I'm going on board. Kind of a difficult wind angle and swell angle today, which is kind of right off the top. So, hoping to hear from David what the wind direction and speed might be the next day or two. Over.
Yeah, roger that. So wind direction and speed for the next day or two. And by the way, everybody, if you think that the signals are down tonight, they are. I've got everyone's signal is less than normal, the bit of activity from the old sun. All right. Oh, well, we'll have a good evening. I'll get David to include that when I pass the microphone to him. And I bet you want it to be a little bit different. To
2319.
yeah, he's just looking 2319 and 16251 east. So I'll pass the microphone and then he can keep it to cover the outlook for everybody, and then I will come back to see if there's anybody else wants to join us.
Right. Good evening. I'm looking for tomorrow at about lunchtime, and you're right at the edge of this quasi-stationary front that runs from Australia onward, and I'll cover that in a minute in more detail. But you and Seeker are right at the edge of that. So winds tomorrow should be probably 15 to 20 knots. A little bit further south, and suddenly they jump up to nearly gale force. I'm surprised on the cloud cover, only 20%. I'll have to take a look at the satellite imagery, but that's tomorrow. You'll have plenty of wind all out of basically the east, from what I can see. And hang on, let's see if look at the old satellite here, and I can see the trough, or I should say quasi-stationary front, is to the south of you, so that shouldn't bother you. So as long as you don't stray too far south from what I can see. So I'll look at it in more detail after I'm done with just talking about the weather and maybe get back to you. So anyhow, good evening again to all the other listeners. Today we'll start with the synoptic picture. That'll be valid to lunchtime tomorrow, Friday. The major player is a very large and strong high sitting over New Zealand, like Patricia said. Central pressure 1032 millibar, maybe 1033. It's a strong one. The next system to think about is a very small depression sitting near Sydney, twirling around. Uh, while this little depression doesn't amount to much, in fact, eventually it goes southeast to the south of New Zealand, but what it does do, annoyingly, is it produces a quasi-stationary front that now runs to just south of New Caledonia, uh, pretty much where Seeker is at the moment, then continues to both of the folks that are on the cruising route to Fiji and Tonga. Yesterday, there was a branch from this that ran north to affect eastern New Caledonia and the Loyalties. Today, it's gone. Uh, by tomorrow, the main front reaches the date line at about 20 south, 20 south. If you're due south of Fiji, the band lies at about 21 south, sort of the northern edge of it, 21 south. We anticipated it would reach Fiji tomorrow, but it's living up to its name, quasi-stationary. Then again, the definition of that is 5 knots, roughly 5 knots. So those on passage north of 20 south won't be bothered with it, other than the fact we have some wind. It seems that he won't be bothered. Anything could happen, though. Now, looking at satellite imagery, the band looks quite wide. The southern edge at 4:30 this afternoon starts at 27 south and the date line, while the northern edge of it is 21 degrees 30 minutes south. So you can see the width of this band. Very heavy activity runs from 25 south to 27 south around the dateline area, a little bit to the west of the dateline. So that's something well, you can't avoid it if you're sailing, but be aware of it. Minerva has a mix of low cloud and high cloud. I see 100% overcast on satellite imagery. Anyone near 20 to 23 south and about 178 east tomorrow around lunchtime may see thunderstorms, and that of course means lightning. It just happens to be an area that the satellite is picking up. There's a lot of cloud, and I love the satellite image that we get now. When there is a thunderstorm or lightning occurs, it gives a kind of a flash on the clouds, and it's kind of fun to look at. Not fun to be near, that's for sure. And somebody sent a message complaining of possibly no wind between Minerva and Fiji. I don't know what planet they're on, but we see plenty of wind. We've got a very high pressure anticyclone feeding into an active front, and that is a recipe for fireworks, believe me. So that's what I've got for you today. And with that, I'll give it back to the chief, and then I'm going to go back to look at where Seeker is and see a little bit better close up on the satellite imagery. So here's the chief.
Well, I did ask him to cover when you would be able to leave Minerva for Fiji, so I hope he's got that on his list for tonight as well.
It's just what I said.
Well, you can put it on your list.
If you're going from okay, I've got it back again over the pier. Oh, she's mad at me. Did you? Yes. Well, there's wind. If you're leaving Minerva to go to Fiji, there's wind, plenty of wind. I'm looking at 4 models, and they say wind. If we hear from anybody in Minerva, I would like to
Yes,
know.
I've got the email.
Oh, an email, but I mean, okay. So what did they say the wind is at Minerva?
They didn't.
They didn't say. Okay. So that's what we'd like to know is actual
That's
conditions. So there is plenty of wind between Minerva and Fiji, and you've got the quasi-stationary front to deal with as well. So I think that would cover that part. So here's the chief.
Well, what about Seeker?
I'm going back to him. I'm checking it out now.
Okay, he's just going to have a look for Seeker, I believe. Yes, he is. And I am going to look for how to get from Minerva to Fiji with decent weather. Not plenty of wind, but decent weather. We are still here, folks. I'm busy trying to get windy on my screen here so that I can look at getting from Minerva to Fiji, and David is busy looking at the Seeker.
Okay.
Peter.
All right, Peter. Howdy. All right, I'm looking at where you are now, and I've got sort of a blow up of the satellite image, which at the moment is just a few minutes ago, so it's quite recent. And you're in a pretty decent area. I could see why you said you had only 20% cloud cover, because that's what I see too. You're in a fairly broad area of very little cloud. I'm looking at the visible, and I'm going to switch to the infrared so I could see the high cloud and the chance for thunderstorms and whatnot. And I don't see anything in that line of problem. No thunderstorm activity. Now this is now. It's certainly not a forecast, but I have an archive on this, so if I can go back 12 hours and then let it run, I can see what the system is doing. So when I do that, everything pretty much stays to the south of you. So we'll be anxious to hear your report tomorrow. But you should have a pretty good evening. There's always the possibility of a squall, of course, but the bad stuff is just not around you at the moment. So I'll copy. Over.
Roger, Roger. Thanks for that, Dave. Yeah, hopefully we'll have a little more settled evening than last night.
Okay, good show. And with that, here's the chief.
Yes, lucky that you're going to Bundaberg and not further south, because the whole Sydney, New South Wales area with that low, which is then dropping south, is just getting drenched. They have had a lot of rain this last while. Well, certainly they've got our share because we haven't been getting any. Yeah, I've just been looking at the windy for Minerva to Fiji, and it's not pleasant blue skies, but at least you've got the wind there in the right direction. All right, is there anybody wanting to join us with anything? Please call.
First light.
Oh, hello, Julie. How are you enjoying stable seas? Over.
We're having a great time. How coffee tonight?
Oh, it's very good copy. Actually, you've been the best on because the conditions have been down a bit. So go ahead.
Okay, well, today has been an absolutely gorgeous, sunny day, moderate conditions. Currently we're approaching Coral Island and anticipate arriving in San Salvador at 2 o'clock in the morning. Right now, our position is 17 degrees, 30 2 minutes, 179 south, 179, 34 minutes east. Wind is average of right now 12 to 15 knots from the east. Speed over the ground is 6.8 knots. Course of 355. Seas are around about 1.5 meters from the east. 0% cloud cover. Over.
Wow, 0%. And apologies for missing you out. I didn't transfer all of the boats. I was still looking at all the tuna you caught yesterday. And I presume it's all safely in the freezer by now. 1732 south for first light, 17934 east, 12 to 15 from the east, 6.8 on a course of 355 true, seas 1.5 meters from the east, and not a cloud in the sky. Sounds very, very pleasant. If you were down this part of the world, you'd be in for a very cold night, as we have been getting, but I bet it's very, very pleasant sailing now, and you're down to shorts and t-shirts. Over.
Yes, you definitely are. It's warmer by the day. David actually asked me to report back on conditions last night because he was warning of a possible front that may be coming up, which in fact proved to be quite stationary. We enjoyed freshening of conditions for 15 to 18 knots, and we were averaging well over 7 knots all night long with a minimal swell. It was absolutely spectacular conditions last night. The other thing is that Dawn has something to report. If it's okay, I will hand the mic over to him. Over.
Okay, and thank you for that. And what lovely conditions last night with those speeds in fairly flattish seas. Excellent. Yeah. And good evening to you, Don.
Yeah, Patricia, we had sort of an interesting experience with two ghost ships. About an hour or so ago, as we were heading north, our AIS was indicating there were two Chinese vessels that looked like were nearly on a collision course with both of them. They were the Wang Bao 8281 and the Wang Bao 8718. And all I can think is that they were sending out spoofed GPS signals because they were placing themselves right on our course, and these were supposedly fairly large fishing vessels, and they were nowhere to be seen. So I think they were sending out false locations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had that a problem last year as well. I will report it through because it is a confounded pain in the neck, particularly if they are in fact. So sometimes they're just AIS, antennas for fishing, which they seem to want to reserve an area for some reason. But yeah, if it is associated with a ship, probably a factory ship or something, then it is really quite worrying and annoying because you don't know what they might be towing. So,
were they on radar?
Do you happen to have the position that you saw these over?
Yes, Patricia, roger that. Just a moment. Let's see.
No, there's nothing on radar because there wasn't anything there.
Is it being those floating buoys?
Okay, Patricia, I'll give you one position. They're very close, within a mile or two of each other. We have 1740 south and 17936 east. And as you say, it's worrisome for us, thinking that we're going to be on a very close approach to two fishing vessels and worrying about their nets. But likewise, it could very well be at nighttime if they're sending out false signals that somebody actually who is on a collision course is not seeing their AIS signal properly. So worrisome from both standpoints and certainly fishy.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I will put it through, and it's I mean, the more that we get reports of this, then they can sort of do something about it. But at least they know that this is a problem there, and it's good that you actually documented the Yang Bao. Could you just spell that to make sure I think I've got it right? I'll look them up and see if I can find them. But could you give me the spelling over?
Certainly, Patricia. It's the Wang Bao.
WANGDIAR. And they had two different numbers. One was 8281, and the other was 8718. Okay.
Yep, I'm just writing it down. I didn't put the 8281. I had 821. So 8718 and 8281. Yep, all right, got all that. Thank you very much. Well, that would have kept you on your toes for a while, but gosh, what a lovely night's sailing to make up for it, over.
I'm looking forward to it, yes.
All right, clear with you guys on first light. Is there anybody else?
Gulf Harbour from Tupel, over.
Well, this is a new one for me and a new voice. Tupel, I think you said. Go ahead.
Okay, it's Kumo Kilo Uniform Mike Foster, and it's David and Lindsay and their crew.
Okay, I've got Kumo now, what I would call Kumo. David and Lindsay, good evening to you. Really good signal. Whereabouts are you?
Okay, we are on our second day out of Marsden, heading for Sabu. Our position is 3047 south, 17649 east.
Okay, and I guess you've got the fairly light conditions. Just carry on, over. Caution speed.
Okay, we are sailing 355, 6.5 knots. The wind is from the east southeast. This is 15 degrees true. The old squall is 25. With quite good cloud, probably only 20% cover, maybe 10-15% cover. And the swell is about 1.5 meters, and the barometer is 1020.
Okay, so Kumo is on a course of 355 true at 6.5 knots. The position is 3047 south, 17649 east, with east-southeast 15, and the odd squall to 25. It's a bit different from down here. 20% cloud cover, 1.5 meter swell, and 1020. So I'm just checking where Shandon was. So you're kind of keeping pace with Shandon. Yeah, very close actually. So I'll just pass the microphone.
I'm looking at where that quasi-stationary front is, and just basically picturing you on your way north to Fiji, and the edge of that is at 28 degrees 12 minutes, and the same latitude, same longitude that you are on. So it's the edge of the system, 28 degrees 12 minutes, and it doesn't seem to be. It's moving west to east, but it doesn't seem to be going north very much. So anyway, that's information for you. We'll see what it does tomorrow. Over.
Very active. Certainly our predict wind forecast says it looks like we're into a couple of bumpy days, particularly Saturday. Over.
Yes, just while he's looking, and your AIS is performing well, so that's good, David, and I'll just pass the microphone.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be windy Saturday and Sunday and probably Monday too. And all that is due to the combination of this strong high. You picked a very, very powerful high to go north on, which is good in one sense. But with that quasi-stationary front involved here, it's hard to tell just where the really nasty stuff is going to be. But the wind will be in a good position to go north, but it certainly you will have plenty of wind. Over.
Okay. Little we can do, nothing to answer that.
What sort of boat is Kumo? I see on the AIS you're 15-metre boat. What is her brand, over?
Yeah, we're Oyster 56.
Oyster 56. Okay, got it. Thank you. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. How many on? That's right. I need to get how many on board, David? Over.
5 on board. 3 males, 2 females. All adults. Over.
Okay, so hopefully everyone's got their sea legs by now. And yep, have a good night, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Cheers, and a very nice radio signal. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, Claire with Kumo, and is there anybody else?
Gulf Harbour Radio, you copy Morning Star.
Morning Star, a very good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Patricia. Can I ask that you pass wishes for a good voyage to Shandon from Scott? Morning Star for me. Thank you.
Okay, to Shandon, who can hear but not speak. Very good wishes from Morningstar. So, yep, he's. It's interesting because normally he has a reasonably good radio on Shandon, so I'm not sure what's happened there. But, yep, greetings from Morningstar to you, David. And I'll make sure I mention that tomorrow in case he's switched off to do something. Okay, whereabouts are you guys?
We're right now in northern Cooks, a couple 100 miles west of Penrith.
Oh, okay, a couple of 100 miles west of Penryn. Ah. Have you been up in the islands all summer, as I call it here, or have you just got up that way over?
I left New Zealand 3 weeks ago, so headed back north.
Yep, got away from the rain at the time, but gosh, we've had it really good since you left. All right, well, Claire with you, and is there anybody else? No, nothing heard. All right, folks, we'll leave you be and talk to you again tomorrow. This is Gulf Harbour Radio. We're clear. If anyone wants the frequency, it's all yours.
Could you give me the boat